Hey guys, I'm Robert. I want to show you how I use AI as part of my journaling practice, specifically something I've had running every morning for a while now, and it's become part of my routine. I'll open Readwise Reader on my phone. This app is where I do most of my reading and highlighting. I use it for articles, books, PDFs, newsletters, YouTube videos, but every morning now, there's also a new document waiting for me in my shortlist. This one was created automatically from my day one journal entries for today's date. I open it and I get this analysis. As you can see, this is not a short generic summary. The AI looks at everything I wrote across the years for this same calendar day and gives me specific details. People mentioned, moments, places, patterns, basically a wide perspective of my own life over time. And the nice thing is I can listen to it. Reader has text to speech, so I can play it while I make my morning coffee. Now, just to be clear, I do not use AI to write my journal. That part is still very personal to me. But using it to help me read through all the entries and analyze them has been really useful. To give you some context, I've been journaling for a while. I use Day One mostly because of the unlimited storage. I journal with photos, videos, audio, PDFs, even paper entries I have transcribed over the years. I have also imported stuff from back when I was a kid. So for many days of the year, when I open the On This Day feature, I might have 15, 20, sometimes even more entries from that same calendar day across different years. Sometimes it's a big memory, sometimes it's just a tiny, ordinary detail I would have completely forgotten, a place I visited, an idea I was excited about, a frustration that now seems completely meaningless. The problem is that if your archive is large like mine, you realistically do not have time to sit every day and go through every old entry. And a few months ago, I started thinking about how to fix that because there's something special about starting the day by remembering. At least for me, a big part of the value I get from journaling is because of the nostalgic side of it, but it's also a great way to notice yourself over time. What keeps coming back? What has changed? What did I care about back then? In which areas of my life should I try to grow even more? So what I want to show you in this video is how to set this up. I think you'll find this great if you use Readwise and have been journaling with Day One for several years, but if not, it's never too late to start journaling. And if your On This Day archive doesn't have a lot of entries, this can easily be customized to help you analyze instead what you wrote one day, 1 week, or 1 month ago. I'll walk you through how I got this running in Alter, an AI assistant app I use on my system, but the most important thing here is the concept and the workflow. Once you understand it, you can probably adapt it for your own setup, even if you use different apps. Before going any further, if you already have Claude or Codex, that's probably the fastest path here. Both Readwise and Day One have MCPs, and I will link those in the description. You can give the AI those links plus a quick explanation of what you want, and you'll have it running pretty fast. You might not even need to watch the rest of this video, and that's totally fine. I have a Plus subscription with ChatGPT that I could use with Codex, but I prefer to save that for heavier projects. I find Alter more customizable and flexible for this kind of workflow, as you will see. So if you are into AI and automation, learning to use this app can open up a lot of possibilities. In this particular case, it also has an advantage if privacy matters to you because you could set all of this to run with local models, with nothing leaving your machine. I don't worry too much about that personally, but I know for some of you it might be a deciding factor. Now, since I went with Alter, which allows me to run this with many different AI models, I wanted to make the workflow as predictable and reliable as possible. Instead of giving the model a bunch of tools and letting it figure out what to do, which is what happens when you let Codex set this up with MCPs, I prefer to define a clear path with specific steps. That will save you tokens and give you more consistent results. So I packaged everything as a skill that I'm sharing with you. For this, I'm not using the Readwise or Day One MCPs. You only need to install the Readwise CLI by running a command in terminal, and make sure you are logged in. On the Day One side, the skill I'm giving you comes with a script that gathers your entries directly from your local database. It's read-only, no writing involved. And for this to work, you will need Python 3 on your system, which is a quick install via Homebrew. If you are not a very technical user, I am giving you step-by-step instructions over in the GitHub repository I am linking in the description. Once you have Python, the Readwise CLI installed and the skill downloaded, let me show you how to set everything up in Alter. Here I am on the main window. Go to the Tools Manager and select the Installed Skills tab on the sidebar. click to import the skill and look for the folder you downloaded. Enable the skill. Then we can close the Tools Manager, and now we can go to the Actions panel. Alter actions are presets that include a system prompt, a user prompt, different context types, and a lot of customization options. In my opinion, this is one of the most powerful areas of the app and where you get a flexibility that you might not have in something like Codex or the Cloud app for certain use cases. Let's create a new one by clicking the plus button. I'll call it On This Day. Let's go to the system prompt. You are my AI journal analyst. Your role is to analyze my journal entries according to the specified instructions in the skill. Everything is already bundled in what I'm sharing with you, so we can keep this simple. Let's go down to where it says model. You got a big list to choose from, but for this example, I'll go with a fast router. Now, go to the Tools tab, toggle this off, look for the skill you imported, and enable only that. If you have multiple journals in day one and want to exclude one of them, or if you have entries with tags that you do not want included in the analysis, this is the right time to configure that. Let's run the action we just created. In the main conversation window, type : then On This Day, and say something like this. Help me configure the attached skill. I want to exclude the journal with the name Instagram. I also want to exclude the tags film reviews and tracker. Please also enable node creation in Bear with its default URL. As you can see, setting exclusions like this is pretty straightforward. You may have noticed I mentioned Bear in there, and that's totally optional, but if you have a note-taking app with a URL scheme, you can set this up to send the analysis there too. The reason I do that is because the AI also generates links that take you directly to each analyzed entry in day one, and since those are local links, they don't work inside Reader. Having everything saved in Bear means I can actually use them if I want to jump to a specific entry. After Alter confirms the customization is done, we're almost ready. The thing is, we want this to run on its own as an automation without us having to type anything. So let's go back to the action editor and jump to the user prompt. Remove this parameter down here. Also remove the default user message. Instead, add a simple instruction. Run my On This Day analysis with the default date behavior and save the result to Reader according to the skill instructions. Do not present the results in this conversation. I also like to give it my birth date so it knows how old I was when I was writing each entry. I add a few lines like this. Just a quick note in this section. The user message is also where you would customize the date if needed. By default, it runs on today's calendar date, which is what drives the On This Day analysis. But if your archive is still small and you don't have many entries for this day yet, you can point it to 7 days ago or something like that instead. Even if you only got one single entry, you will still get value from this. Let's give it a quick manual run. Look for the On This Day action, press return, and you don't have to type anything. It will read the skill instructions, extract your On This Day entries, analyze them, and send them to Reader via the CLI. The skill will also clean up any temporary files, so nothing is left behind in the Alter workspace folder. Now let me show you the automation tab in Alter's Action Editor. You can set this to run daily at a specific time, and you could also set this as a background job if you don't want the window to pop up whenever this runs. One thing to know is that this will only run if your computer is awake at that time. If it's not, it will run whenever your computer comes back online. If that works for you, you can stop here. In my case, I didn't want to worry about having my computer awake, so I set this up with the Shortcuts app instead. Before going there, go to General and copy the URL for this action. Now open the Shortcuts app. Create a new shortcut. I'll call it OTD Reader, and add a Run Shell script action. Add the first line, which tells the computer to stay awake for 5 minutes when the shortcut runs. Then add an 8-second wait. This is useful in case the computer needs a moment to fully connect to the internet. And finally, open the Alter action URL you copied. Then go to the Automations tab in Shortcuts and add a new time of day automation. I'll set mine to 5 a.m. daily to run immediately. Select the shortcut you created and you're done. In my testing, this type of automation is much more reliable and you don't even need the Shortcuts app open. It will still run at that time as long as your computer is logged into the account where you set it up. Okay, so as a summary, install and log in with the Readwise CLI. Make sure you have Python 3 on your system. Add the skill folder to Alter, create an Alter action with the skill enabled, and schedule it either inside Alter or with the Shortcuts app. I promise it's not as intimidating as it sounds, but if you have any questions or something is not working, leave a comment with the details and I'll try to help you out. One more thing worth mentioning is that you can modify the prompt for the analysis itself. Open Alter's Tool Manager, which is the same place where you install the skill. Right-click and open the folder. Then go into References. Everything is set in the analysis instructions file. I have mine set to go deep into the entries, help me remember details and extract real insights. I specifically set it to be a bit less warm, more analytical, less like a therapist, but you can change this to match whatever style or focus works for you. By the way, Day One has its own set of AI features, but to be completely honest, none of them so far seems as useful as this is for me. I am still sold on the app for everything else it offers, like the storage, design, and automation possibilities, but this particular workflow that I just shared with you is really giving me a lot to reflect, and I think it may be one of those areas where AI is making a difference in my growth as a person. With Day One, since it reads directly from the database, it works on the free version, and with Alter, you could set this up on the free version as well, so I think it's as cheap as it gets. If you want to try one of Alter's paid plans and support the channel, feel free to use my code AFT for 10% off. I also have a full class on journaling where I cover my whole system. I will link that in the description if you want to go deeper. And if you're into this topic, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Whether you are interested in building the habit, the actual practice, physical journaling with fancy pens and notebooks, just let me know what's interesting to you because it could help me figure out what to make next. Remember that if you want more frequent updates on what I'm working on, you can sign up for my newsletter. Thanks for watching. See you soon.